Alright YouTube, it's been a while, innit? What's better than one key? Well, I think you just saw the answer. So that cheeky little shot was done on the iFootage Shark Slider Nano, which is a brand new, bi-directional, really lightweight, portable slider from iFootage. Disclaimer time, iFootage did send me this slider to do a little review of it. I've got some of their other gear. I've got the Shark Slider Mini, which is another fantastic slider. I've done a review of that on my YouTube channel. You can go and check that out. If you want to save yourself a few minutes, I would say don't bother watching the rest of this video. Just go and buy this slider. If you film on a smartphone or a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, go and buy this slider, man. It is so good and I've had so much fun playing with it. So I'm going to be having a look at some of the main features and some of the things that I've really enjoyed about this slider. It is different to the Shark Slider Mini, which I've got. So discovering a few of those things and some of the things that they've actually improved since that slider, I think I've really enjoyed playing with, and I think anyone that invests in this slider won't regret it. One of the main things I love about this slider is how small it is. Some of you guys might have seen the video I did where I pack all of my kit down as small as possible. This bit of kit is perfect for that. If you go with the bundle version, which comes in at about $599, you get a carry case with that, and that's perfect for me because it packs down into my trunk with the rest of my lighting, which is just fantastic. So there are two different ways you can use the slider. You can use it on a desktop, so it's just standing on its own feet, or you can use it on a tripod. If you use it on a desktop or tabletop, you get a 20cm slide out of it. If you use it on a tripod, you get either a 32 or a 40cm slide out of it. I think it's 40, even though some of iFootage's info says that it's 32 centimeters. For the size of the slider itself, to get that distance of slide out of it is really, really good. And for the most part, I found actually I don't need more than that. I'll be really excited to use it in an interview setup where I've got that 40cm slide on the tripod for a B camera, and the motors are pretty quiet as well, so I think in terms of the sound levels, that would be absolutely fine. It's a brushless motor, and honestly, when you're using it, you can hardly hear it at all. Another thing I really love about this slider that's different to the Shark Slider Mini is that not only can you use the app, which works really well, you can get it on iPhone or on Android, and actually it's I don't know, but it seems to work a little bit better than it did for the Shark Mini, so the app works pretty well. But what's even better is that built into the module itself is an IFS touchscreen where you can control all the movement of the slider. For me, that was absolutely fantastic, because while it's okay to be getting out the app, it's just brilliant to be able to go straight onto the touchscreen, which works really nicely, and just control all of the movement from there. Lovely touch. In terms of setting the slider up, it's so easy. It's so intuitive. I didn't read any instructions. I just figured it out as I went. It was just so easy. So basically, when you turn it on, it does this auto calibration, which takes about 30 seconds to a minute, but I don't mind that because I can go and do other stuff. I mean, you could go and set up your cameras, set up a few lights, have a sandwich. I mean, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I also think the thought that's gone into the batteries is really impressive. It takes the Sony NPF batteries. I've been using it all day. I think the runtime is supposed to be about 3 to 4 hours. I charged it up fully and I could basically use it pretty much all day. So who knows how long the battery goes for? Maybe a million years, who knows? The other thing that's really nice about it is that it's got a USB-C port. So if you wanted to power it all day using USB-C, you can power it that way. The other really nice thing about the USB-C port is that it charges the battery, so you don't need to go investing in a battery charger for the Sony NPF battery, because you can charge it through the slider itself, which is just lovely. In terms of the functionality, I've only used it for video at the moment, so I haven't tested the time-lapse feature or the stop motion feature, but what I can say is that if you get the bundle, it comes with a load of extra cables for you to be able to plug it into whatever camera you've got, depending on the compatibility, etc. In video mode, it is so easy to use. So basically, once you've calibrated it, you've got a couple of options. A main menu will come up with all of your options within that menu. So you can either hit the option that you want, but for me to go into video mode, I found it easiest to hit the power button and the function button together, and that takes you into the video mode. Once you're in the video mode, it's so easy to set your keyframes. You move your camera to your first point, frame it up all nice, hit the button, move it over to the other side, hit the B button, and that's it. You've done your keyframes. Then you can set it to a loop if you want to, which would be really handy for things like interviews. Hit record on the camera, and then you hit start, and you've got a nice, smooth track. It remembers your keyframes. You can repeat it time after time. Like I said, you can set it to a loop. You can hit the A-B button, which reverses the two keyframes in case you set it up the wrong way, if you set it up backwards or whatever. But once you hit start and you watch it go, it's so smooth. I've been using it with my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K with my Lumix 12 to 35mm, and it easily takes that payload. I think the maximum payload on desktop is 3.5 kilograms, then on tripod it's 2.5 kilograms, and then when you go to vertical, it's 2 kilograms. Now, let's talk about the vertical feature. Sadly, I can't use that with my current camera setup, but I did try it on my smartphone and it worked really well. If I knew how to shoot stuff properly on a smartphone, I'm sure I could have got much better shots. But I thought the function of the slider itself worked really, really well. So if you're a smartphone shooter, you can get some really dynamic stuff out of this slider. And again, if you go for the bundle, then you get a little phone adapter that screws straight onto the slider included. One thing that I didn't realize at first that I thought was a lovely touch was that you don't need an extra tripod head for this. So I had my tripod head on it to start with, and then I realized that I wanted to put the slider on the tripod. So I thought, oh no, I'm gonna need an extra plate, and I didn't have an extra plate because I lent it to my friend. And then I put the camera straight onto the slider. It's got this lovely thing which you don't see very often, which is it's got the two different screw mounts on it, and it's sprung loaded so that you can screw your camera straight onto it. The only downside to not using an additional tripod head is that you have less control over the tilt, but sometimes you don't have a choice when you've lent your spare plate to a friend. iFootage spent a long time working on this slider. I think it was like announced in 2018 and now it's late 2020, but it seems worth it, man. Like the amount of different changes that they've gone through, I think they've actually got to a really, really nice product now, and it's been worth the wait. If you are looking to invest in a slider at around the $500, $600 mark, I cannot recommend this highly enough. There are a few small things that bothered me about it, but honestly, nothing that's worth going into in this video. All of them, I figured out workarounds really, really quickly, and all of the upsides far outweigh the downsides. So I think that about covers it. If you like this video, then fantastic. Please do give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. Peace!